Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to our podcast, The Road Traveled. My name is Judy Adams. I'm with World Travel Service, and I'm joined today by Melissa Barkalow from abetterviewtravel. This travel podcast today will be focusing on river cruising, and we're so happy to have with us today Kathy DiVincenzo. She is the Business Development Manager for Mid-Atlantic for AmaWaterways, and I'm just going to tell you in advance, you're going to learn amazing things about river cruising today. If you've never considered it, I urge you to listen to the podcast because you're going to find out a lot of interesting things. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Melissa, who's going to talk with Kathy about Ama.
Thank you, Judy and Kathy. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Can you tell us a little bit more about Ama, which is the highest rated luxury brand? I've sailed it 3 times. Had a fabulous time on each of my sailings, different destinations, but can you just give us a brief overview?
AmaWaterways is the highest rated luxury brand, and thank you for mentioning that, and thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. So with AmaWaterways, we're a family-owned company that's very hands-on. We're very attention to detail, and we say it's not where you go, but how you get there. And so oceans take you to countries and rivers take you through them. So what we do is maximum effect your sailings by carefully planning them so that you are in the downtown locations, so that it's easy on the ship, easy off, and it maximum affects your time so that you can submerge yourself in the destination. And originally the ships were pulled by ropes and donkeys, and we've paved those paths, and those are now our bike paths. So a normal cruise would take you sailing at night, land in a port about 6 in the morning, 7 to 9 you'd have breakfast, then you'd do your morning tour, come back to the ship for lunch, do your afternoon tour, then go back in the town to shop or enjoy the different culinary treats or bars, or just soak up the scenery, then come back to the ship for our sip and sail happy hour, have dinner. And then a lot of people after the show at night go back into the town to again enjoy all the pleasures that the town has to offer. And then they get back on the ship to sail at a designated time. So the rivers are going to give you a more immersive experience. So we say passion, purpose, and innovation are things that make AmaWaterways so special, and that comes from our leadership. I mentioned we're a family-owned company. So Rudy, our president and CEO, ironically started a few other companies that you might be familiar with, Viking and also Uniworld, and he tweaked a third company called Avalon. So he's considered the father of modern-day river cruising. His beautiful wife, Christine, started in travel in Dresden, and when the wall fell, she went to California, and the love story started when she and Rudy were at Viking. And Gary's dad owned a company called Brendan Vacations, which is an Irish tour company. They sold Brendan to get the money to start Ama in 2002. So when we started sailing, Rudy wanted to design our ships differently. So he created something called a shallow draft, and what that means is our ships can sail in shallow water when our competitors cannot. And we should have a lighter ship. We have all different levels of sun and shade, a running track. In front of that, a heated pool with a swim-up pool bar. Then the deck drops safely down about 4 feet, and you sit in country club casual seating, and you watch the scenery go by, enjoying your cup of coffee or your glass of wine. The ship does have a lot more bells and whistles than our competitors, which we can talk about. We have some slides explaining our cabins and things. But we like to talk about the value of river cruising. So with river cruising, it's an immersive experience. With Ama, we are inclusive, but not all inclusive. And we can talk about that on this podcast or another, but when you sit down with the travel advisor, the important thing is to see what's included, because breaking down what's included will help someone decide over one river cruise company versus another. With Ama, it's a very intimate and relaxing experience. We have the same size ships as everyone else, but we put a lot less passengers. Our attention to detail is second to none. We greet everyone with a smile. Everyone becomes part of our family. All the rooms have a river view. We dock in the heart of the town. Now, this is an example of our ships. And we like to go with the chic, clean lines. We do have the glass elevator on the ships. This is the lobby.
Kathy,
Yes.
do all the ships have an elevator?
All of our ships, with the exception of the ship in Vietnam, have an elevator. Now, this is the lounge, and I know you can answer this, Melissa. What is the most popular thing in the lounge?
Oh, the bar. But the windows are also fabulous. You get to see the sights from the windows. There's also out on front, there's some chairs where you can sit out. One night we sat outside and watched the sunset while having a cocktail. It was beautiful. But yes, the bar, it is very popular.
And it's so funny you should say that. You know what the answer in my world is? The barista machine. And it's fresh ground coffee 24/7. And we also do tea and hot chocolate, and people just absolutely love that. Library is a nice, quiet, reflective space with fireplaces and people. I myself love going in and doing a crossword puzzle. Nice for meeting space as well. But the bar area is very popular, and we do include that hour before dinner is a sip and sail. And I discovered that I now like lemon drop martinis as a result.
Well, it's fun because every day of the week they feature a different beverage.
And I love
lemon
that
drop,
menu.
Cosmos. I think margaritas were one night on a cruise.
We have that menu that they can choose from the menu. Now, this is a very important slide, and that's what our basic cabin looks like. And I had mentioned earlier that we put a lot less people on the same size ships. Our cabins are a lot bigger as well. So the average cabin on our ships is 210 to 235 square feet with a real balcony that has 2 chairs and a table. And in the sunroom, it has a French balcony with hardwood floors. We have marble and granite, flat screen in every cabin. Do you know we spend more money on the internet than we do on fuel?
And I greatly appreciate that, being somebody who can't disconnect.
I love it. And this is our triple cabins. The precipitator of the triple cabins came from our partnership with Disney. So the ships from the Viola and Stella on have triple and connecting cabins and quad cabins. Our suites are the quad cabins, but this is great for people traveling with friends and family. They have the privacy or the openness.
Also great for multi-generational.
Absolutely.
Hey, if I may interrupt, Kathy, quick question for you. What would you say, I know this is a kind of a broad sweeping question, but what is the average demography or age of people that sail on AMA?
Well, the average age is 54.3 to be exact. And it's
That's very good. Very
economic demographic. It's more of a socioeconomic demographic. It's people who want the lap of luxury in casual with a 5-star floating hotel that love gourmet dining and fine wine and like the inclusive atmosphere where we include our tours and they come in different levels and people that want to travel in groups. Like my girlfriends and I did our 60th birthday 2 years ago. We do gardening and religious groups, and the list is endless what we could do as a group. So it's just basically people that want what I had stated earlier is this luxurious vacation where they don't have to get dressed up, but they are going to have all kinds of wonderful foods, which I'm sure Melissa can attest to. Our food is second to none. We even make our own ice cream on board. And we're into physical fitness. As you can see, we have a wellness instructor on every ship, with the exception of the 2 in Portugal. We start every day at 7 a.m. with champagne yoga. They come in half-an-hour intervals. We do have a gym on every ship. Our wellness instructor will do focus on health and eating and relaxation techniques. And it's a great way to stay in shape. And quite frankly, I love smelling about 4 o'clock in the morning, all the smells of the pastries being baked fresh every day. So I work out like a mad person just because I want to eat all of those wonderful pastries.
I love the idea of champagne yoga. That's the kind of yoga I can get into.
Oh, there's so many different choices throughout the day, whether it's core strengthening
Yep.
or yoga circuit training. So we hit everyone.
Yeah, it was very popular on
And
the
here's
two
our
cruises I
heated
went on last
pool.
year. I
The
had
heated
friends with
pool with
me
the
last
swim up pool.
November, and they went up every morning.
It
Oh,
is
the pool bar.
wonderful. Now, the heated pool with the swim up pool bar is quite a popular site too. And I'll tell you, we were talking earlier, I was on in November and the pool is at 90 degrees. And we had two lovely ladies from Erie, Pennsylvania sailing at 2 o'clock in the morning in the pool. And again, people do use the pool all year round. It's just wonderful.
Myself and my husband used the pool going through the Waka Valley, seeing the vineyards. It was beautiful.
Absolutely. And we have what's called a Shendon rotisserie cuisine on our ships. And it's farm to table. Everything is brought on fresh every single day. We do champagne at breakfast, beer and wine at lunch and dinner, and it's unlimited fine wine, where other companies don't have that fine wine that we include at no extra charge. We do the chef's table, which is an alternate dining 15-course wine paired dinner. And that's just one of our regular dinners. The chef's table is 15 courses, and there's no extra charge for that. And we can do any kind of food allergy with, and we can do any request with the exception of kosher. And all the guest has to do is let us know. This is our beautiful dining area, and you can do tables for 1 up to 12. We do menu service for breakfast and lunch and dinner. And at breakfast and lunch, we have action stations, which will now be served by our staff. So again, beautiful dining. We have our regular dining room. We also have food in the lounge, and we have food in our chef's table, which you're seeing right now.
The chef's table was so much fun. You can reserve it for yourselves if you're a couple or with a group of friends. We had a friend who had a birthday. We sat right there in the main table. They brought out a birthday cake. It was a wonderful experience.
This is something I can see that would be really special for foodies who are cruising. This is something I can use to tell my customers, I know you're into food, and I think you would really love the chef's table. It looks beautiful.
It
And
is spectacular.
And it's glass. You can see the chef making the food behind where this photograph's being taken.
And the glass makes it very pristine, and it's just an ultimate experience. Now, this is very important as well. We do a tour in the morning and a tour in the afternoon, where our competitors only do a morning tour and charge you for the afternoon tour. We put 20 people on the tour, and that will come in fast, medium, gentle walkers, and late risers. Then we're going to give you options of hiking and biking tours and special edition tours. And this is included at no extra charge. Your guide's going to speak English. You're going to have your own box that will be in your room for the week. And I myself, I've done truffle hunting. I went to a castle tour where the owner was a vintner and a chocolatier. So we give you a wide variety of choices.
When I was in Vienna 2 years ago, we did the Demel, the cake and champagne, because I'd been to Vienna before, but that was the tour option we took versus a city tour. Wonderful experience. Demel is not to be missed in Vienna.
Oh, and we just found something for after dinner. We found the Sky Bar in Vienna, which overlooks St. Stephen's. And that's one of my favorite spots in Vienna. St. Stephen's Church is constantly evolving. It suffered severe damage in World War II. And every time I go, more and more of it is cleaned, and just going in is just awe-inspiring. So there, everyone has different choices of what you want to do in what cities.
Exactly.
And we do have our bikes, and I mentioned our bike tours. After our bike tours that are guided by our crew, we line them up so that people can take the bike and the helmet and enjoy their own bike tour. But our escorted ones are so popular. They range from 7 to 30 miles. And the hiking tours are some of my favorites. One of my favorites is hiking up, and you had mentioned the Wakaw Valley. In Dernstein, we have this castle where they kept King Richard the Lionheart captive, and we do a 4-mile hike up. And I just love that as one of my favorites. Or if I'm on the Rhine, there's a 5-mile hike through the vineyards. But we have something for everybody, and that's what's wonderful about AMA. We offer choices. Now, we had mentioned the highest rated luxury brand. There's a company called Berlitz, and Berlitz did an independent study of all of the river cruise ships in Europe. And folks can pick them up at Barnes & Noble if you want your own. I distribute them when I'm out visiting agencies, so the girls will have one. But what it does is it disseminates information that was gathered on this independent study on all of the ships. And I'm very proud to say we have 10 of the top 15 rated ships in the world on the new Berlitz guide that just came out. So as soon as I get back on the road, I will be distributing them to my travel agencies.
Great. I've been on 3 different ships, Kathy, and I've enjoyed them all. The Ama Serena was the first one. We did the Ama Christina for Holland and Belgium last spring, which was beautiful.
Our ships won't disappoint. And I highly encourage everyone to contact Judy and Melissa. For anyone that makes a booking within 2 weeks of the podcast, you'll get $100 off per person when you make a booking with either of these lovely travel agents. And you can call them for group bookings. We also do Vietnam. South Africa is our most popular destination. And in 2021, of September of 2021 to be exact, we are starting to sail in Egypt. So Judy and Melissa will be available to make bookings on any of these wonderful sailings.
Yes, yesterday, Kathy, I was on your website and I was doing some training, and I saw the river cruising in Egypt and some of the photographs, and I was blown away. I was like, I have got to get on that river cruise.
Oh, I just can't wait.
Yeah, it looks so amazing.
And Kathy, I believe you mentioned when before we got on Christmas markets, and there's a special going on with Christmas markets?
Absolutely. So until June 30th, if someone comes to make a reservation with you girls, it's a free upgrade up to $1,000 off per cabin, a $50 per person onboard credit, and that is combinable with that extra $100 off that I offered. And
Wow.
Something I'd like to mention too is we've got a program going on to thank our heroes, our frontline heroes. And what we're doing is offering a complimentary stateroom to currently employed in frontline situations, nurses, doctors, pharmacists, lab technicians, EMTs, and paramedics. And it's simple as these folks reaching out to Judy and Melissa and providing their employee ID. They will get a certificate number to be redeemed 90 days prior to departure in 2021. And it's true, we are offering our frontline heroes a complimentary cabin. The second person in the cabin will pay the full price, but it is a full complimentary cabin to our heroes. And it's just our way of saying thank you.
I think that's
Wonderful
amazing.
offer.
Yeah, that is unbelievably good, great offer, especially for all the people that are out there right now really, really working to, in effect, help strangers. So that's a great offer.
And all they have to do is reach out to you, and you will apply for their certificate, and they redeem that. The certificate is redeemed through you. So again, our partnership with our travel agents is second to none. And AMA does love our travel agent partners.
Great.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
It's been a pleasure, Kathy. You are a wealth of information about AMA, and In a time period right now where we can only dream about travel, we can certainly plan forward for travel. And myself, I'm interested in getting on AmaWaterways. I've had very limited experience on river cruising, so you've given me a lot to think about, and as well for our listeners. So Melissa, with that, I'll say thank you for joining us today. We hope you've learned a lot. And if you have any questions about AMA in general or making a booking, please reach out to Judy or Melissa. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a fabulous day.
Thank you. Thank you, Kathy,
Thank
for joining
you.
us.